Let's begin with our meditation. Within my own being is the kingdom of love. If it is that seems to be lacking in my experience of myself or in my experience of the world, I do not look outside of my own being for it. All I have to do to find love is to turn into this great spiritual realm within me. There, divine love awaits and is beyond my imagining. It is a love more totally unconditional than I can imagine. It is with me always. It is there when I feel down. It is with me when I feel triumphant. It is with me when I am afraid. It is with me when others are afraid. It is with me when I feel defeated. It is with me when I am in joy. Whatever comes into my experience, this love remains unchanged. Divine love is there with me always. It has been with me since before time and will be here when time is no more. This love, this precious, encouraging, and totally supportive love is here with me right now, right here where I sit, awaiting my simple acceptance of it. I go now into the silence and open to this peaceful, transforming love. And as I welcome it into my consciousness, I become aware it is also the very essence of my being. Okay, welcome. There were a few new people here today at our New Earth Visioning Project. Speaking of envisioning, or visioning, it's my vision this year that this project will be even more evolved, even more committed, even more inspiring, informative, and motivating. Okay? I hope it's your vision too, those who have been here in the past. Because there's a lot going on in the world and its people. And because of that, there's even more need for the presence of calm light workers. Those who are working to create a new vision for the world and a new us becoming New Earth people. So for those of you who are new, what is a New Earth person? I'll come up with a new thing for myself. It means we have evolved spiritually and are resonating with a higher vibration, a more expanded consciousness, a wisdom, a sense of oneness with all creation, and especially for now, have come to a calm, witnessing presence amidst all the chaos going on. We'll talk about this world we now experience in a few minutes. We're going to talk about it this time. But first, let's review what we have already done in this New Earth Visioning Project. For those of you who are new, and for a reminder for the rest of us, let's look at our mission and goals. And go to the website. Okay, for those of you who are new, we have a website. This is the opening page of the website. You can get here by newearthvisioningproject.com or janicecoyle.org. Both of those addresses come to this page. And we've got a lot of things up here which we'll explain later. But for right now, we're going to go to About, and we're About New Earth. And this is a page where we have our mission and goals. So let's just read them here. We are a cohesive power for good through envisioning a new earth and contributing to its manifestation. To achieve this, we are committed to bringing ourselves into strong, invincible, and vibrational alignment with our vision. By becoming New Earth people now in consciousness, thought, and action, we are a power that uplifts the way for many others. Our goals: 1. Establish a strong vision of New Earth and a vision of ourselves as New Earth people. 2. Come into alignment with our vision by becoming New Earth people now. And how do we do that? We are healed and have released old beliefs and emotional patterns from the past. We had several presentations on this last year. And this is so important because we're striving to increase our vibrations. But unless we heal the inner pain and the inner judgments and the inner resentments and so forth, we're going to keep dipping down into a lower vibration of shame, of resentment, of all kinds of things that lower our vibration. So this is really important. And even though we've had some presentations on this, we're going to have more, and we're going to help each other with this in a more intimate way this year. The second thing, we are connected and in communication with nature and Mother Earth. We've talked about that, and we're going to get into more of that too this year. We have discovered and are using our power and guidance in our lives. This is a given, but we're going to go into more of what our power is and how we can use it and how to tune into guidance more. We have come to know our unique gifts and are confidently using them. We'll work on that a little bit today. We're connected to the highest within ourselves and know who we are. Our meditation this morning touched that a bit, and we're going to do more of meditations that will bring us into even more alignment. 3, we are inspired by the many points of light creating New Earth, and we join in spirit and support. We know we are points of light ourselves. For those of you who are new, we're going to get into points of light again today. We are offering our own incredible gifts to help others in nature toward the New Earth we are creating with millions of others around the world. In this, we support the members of our group totally and unconditionally. So what have we done so far? Let's look at what we have done. Let me go back to this. Now we're going to go to the watch and listen. And this is where are the videos and transcripts of all of our presentations. You will find them. I'm going to scroll down because it's the most recent at the top, and I'm going to scroll down to our first meetings. See how many meetings we've had, so many presentations. So the first one here, week 1, you'll find other videos, by the way, on this page, but these 6 down here are talks I gave at other events, other churches, and so forth. But starting here is where we began our New Earth visioning meetings. The first one, I talked about how this is a perfect time to create New Earth, because of the energies coming in cosmically to our solar system. And I'll talk a little bit more about it today because it's becoming very urgent now. The energies are going ballistic, and we are needed as light workers to be very calm. So for those of you who want more information about that, those of you who are new, this one would be a good one to watch, and it will give you the science and so forth. The second one is just a description of what we're going to be doing as in the New Earth Visioning Project. This one, week 2, is bringing vision into manifestation. How you do that, how you focus on it, how you bring in energies of fun, imagination, and so forth. What you think is what happens. What you believe is what happens. The usual that many of you already know. The week 3, we went into fifth dimensional people and our uniqueness. I described my experiences on what I believe to be a Pleiadian starship during a vivid dream one night, where I saw these very evolved people and how they were, and how unconditionally loving they were, how they respected uniqueness and the value of virtually everything in the cosmos, every being, every life form. Then on week 4, this is an important one, living in higher vibration. I go into the science of it. For those of you who are new, you might want to watch this one. There's another one on higher vibration, what that means, how you know if you're in a higher vibration, and so forth, the science around it, and all of that. That would be a good one also. And then week 5, our Rebecca Jarmus gave us a talk about honoring chronic pain, how to live in chronic pain as she does and still stay in a high vibration and live an enjoyable life and have fun. Amazing talk. Amazing that she can do that. Really incredible. Then on week 6, New Earth Healing Techniques, another great talk by Mary Hastings. She talks primarily about how to honor our bodies, listen to our bodies, get really in touch with it, and how the body has so much wisdom it can give us. Beautiful talk. Then on week 7, we had Dara Jones, one of our members, talk about harnessing the healing power of the nervous system, brain, and heart. She talked about how to use some techniques of bringing more joy and healing and cooperativeness between our hearts, our minds, and our physical being, all bringing it into more alignment. She had practices. She has many resources. It's incredible talk. Another one on raising vibrations that you work at week 8. Let's raise our vibrations, an important follow-up. By Mary Nelson and I gave this talk, and this is more about raising vibrations, and this one includes many ways to raise your vibration. This one has been pretty much kind of gone viral in a way. We have been asked. Mary and I were asked to give this presentation to an organization called Connecting Consciousness. And there's a 4-state, they get together and for presentations, about 2,000 people, Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee all got together. And I guess there were about somewhere between 100 and 200 people at that Zoom meeting. And then after we gave that one, this was after we presented it here, we were asked by the Texas delegation of that organization, 5,000 people, to give that talk again. We did. And some of the people actually cried afterwards. They thought it was such a healing experience. And then we've been asked to give this again next month to the Midwest region for that. So this one has been really taking off. We expect to probably give that at least twice more to some of these fairly sizable groups. So if you're interested and see what all the shouting's about, you might want to watch that one. This one, week 9, introducing points of light. We'll do this again in our meeting on February 1st. It was such a fun thing. I know all of you that were there really liked it. What do we mean by points of light? These are people and organizations doing great things to uplift our planet, to bring in the new earth. And we all found things to talk about and we're going to do it again. And so many people, those of you who are there, liked it so much, you want to do this take a bit of every meeting and talk about the people out there doing things. And I know a lot of us over the time we didn't meet have found a lot more. And if we have time today, we'll talk a little bit, but we have the whole meeting next time. We're going to talk about this. This was a lot of fun. The next one here, Creating New Earth Using Multidimensional Consciousness. Nusra Sahin is a writer and spiritual teacher out of London, England. She is the author of the book called Creating New Earth Using Multidimensional Consciousness. She gave a talk about how we tune into our multidimensionality, if that's a word. And she led us through a meditation to understand that we are multidimensional. We exist on different planes of existence, different dimensions, you would say. And she put us through a meditation to try to get to that place. Very far out, very interesting talk. Then on week 11, Co-Creating with Nature, we talked about going into nature, animal intelligence, plant intelligence, some amazing stories some of you brought about how you have gone into nature and been uplifted, inspired, and so forth. We're going to have another talk that will bring us into even more depth regarding that. We'll talk about that later on. And the next one, our week 12, moving beyond seated trauma on our ascension path. This, I understand, I was not there. Mary Histine, one of our members, took over the whole meeting and gave this talk. And I understand there was a wonderful conversation afterwards about healing deep-seated trauma. Again, this is so important, as I just mentioned. We're going to do that some more, too. Then our last meeting, on week 13, my friend Rebecca White-Cotton, who has experienced alternate realities of herself, parallel lives, and other things like that in the fifth dimension and otherwise. She talked about this, put us through a little exercise about our multidimensionality, our other selves, our other lives, past, present, and concurrent with this life. Another very deep journey, let's say, experience. So I'm back here. So that's what we've done. And I hoped it helped those of you who watched it. Hope you were inspired by it. For those of you who are just joining us, you can go to the website and watch any of them. Or if there are a couple of them that weren't recorded, and if they weren't recorded underneath the picture, you can click and get a transcript and of it. And if you want, and the resources are on the transcripts. Sometimes the slides are on the transcripts. So if you like to read, you can click and you'll go to a PDF of the transcript. So there's a lot of resources. There's also a resource page at the top, and you'll see lots of books, lots of videos, and different categories that you can check out. There's a whole lot on that site, and just peruse the site, and you'll see what I mean. And we're going to add much more to it this year. In fact, the website's going to become more about New Earth than me, and we're going to change it a bit. So I'll keep you informed of that. We're not going to take anything away, but we're going to change it to make it even more user-friendly. Anyway, this is what we've done. We hope it's helped you and become a little bit more or New Earth-like, and more have more ability to envision the kind of Earth we want, the kind of Mother Earth we want. So when I looked over what we'd done, it seemed that as we went forward from the beginning, we got more and more deep, more and more practical, especially in our work on healing ourselves and coming into alignment with our vision. And this is what we need to do even more of this year. More healed, more new earth manifestors, inspired, alive, whole, connected with each other and the world. But especially we need to become calm presences in this world, becoming more, and that is becoming more and more chaotic. We all know this. We all can look out in the world and see what's happening. But we can have discerning detachment and serenity around it. And we're going to talk about how we help each other do exactly that. The truth right now is that the world systems that have been in existence for thousands of years are coming apart. The financial system is breaking down, governments are in disarray, and many of them are breaking down. There's this so-called pandemic with many alternate beliefs about it, shutdowns, lockdowns, enormous increases in crime, mental illness, disharmony in so many places. There's a drastic increase in poverty, joblessness, personal freedoms, and so much more. And this is not just in this country, it's global. Our children are affected. Households are affected. People are lonely, confused, in fear. And many of us don't know what to do. Many people don't know what to do. The mainstream media all over the world is rife with reports that bring us fear, anxiety. We don't know what to believe, as there are so many differing opinions out there on almost everything. Even in these so-called alternative news, which usually has a subtitle, "We Are the Truth," or something like that. There are so many different opinions there. So many prognostications about what's going to happen. So many dates, that this is going to happen on this date, this is going to happen on that date. None of them happen, as they say. So what do we believe? It's confusing. It's chaotic. Classic examples of chaos. And we talked about chaos in the very first meeting. Remember? I like to go into science. Chaos always precedes transformation. Chaos is necessary for transformation. It makes a lot of sense. Things have to break down in order for the new to arise. I gave the example in that talk of people who, not people, but about the caterpillar becoming a butterfly. Everything in it breaks down. The only thing remains is a little bit of skeletal stuff, and that's it. And it becomes a butterfly. So, if we can keep that in mind when we look at it as chaos, we can almost celebrate the more chaos, the more transformation. However, there's a lot of collateral damage and suffering, people dying, people lonely, people starving, and all of that. So what do we do? What do we as New Earth people do about this? I would suggest that we become New Earth-like and become the calm, loving presences amidst all this, and stay out of fear. It's called, by some people, keeping the high watch. It can be hard to believe that this is a precursor of good transformation, necessary for transformation. But if we can step aside, into a higher, more expanded view of this, we are able to tune in to guidance, to create greater creativity, and have that detached presence that opens us up to one statement: how can I help best? The people around us, the world, whatever. And, I mean, there's so much fear out there. There's loss of freedom, loss of money, loss of position, loss of jobs. I mean, name your poison. One of the things that keeps us in fear or chaos ourselves, within ourselves, is that we're probably looking too much at the chaos and not at what is also developing. The caterpillar, which is the world, is growing wings. There are many points of light out there. You don't hear about them in the media. You don't hear about them very much. We have to look for it. But if we really look and want to find the evidence of the new earth emerging, we will find it. And that's why we're going to spend time this year talking about the points of light out there. And there's so many. They're not being advertised in most media, but they're there. And we can look around at the people near us, the people who are beautiful people, the loving people that we know, the people who are working on themselves, the people who give us a smile, the people who want to cheer everybody up that walks in the store, or whatever. They are there. We put away our anger and our frustration and our resentments about the world. Is going through a natural process. But what we can do most is hold what is called the high watch. And I really like a quote from a book by August Good and Joel Fatnos. It's called Multiply Your Blessings. And a quote from them about holding the high watch. What does that mean? Quote, it simply means standing firm in truth, no matter what is going on around us. Holding the high watch means to see the greatest potential, to imagine that potential is realized, and that this realization has already happened. Holding the high watch is a way of witnessing, believing more for oneself or for another, or the world, I would add, than they often can for themselves. Remember the truth of who we are, no matter what they think, feel about themselves, and who they are. We can hold the high watch without saying a thing. It is an energetic space that we choose that speaks louder than words. By just standing quietly in our own highest truth about something, we allow others and our own personalities to recognize and match it. Unquote. This sounds like holding the vision and coming to alignment with our vision, doesn't it? Our vision of new earth, our new earth where love is Lord, everyone is honored and encouraged to bring out their own unique gifts. A world where every living being on the planet is respected, where nature is honored as our teacher, and so much more. So again, one of our problems might be that we are focusing more on the chaos than our vision. If that's true, let's watch that and make a change. One of the things we can do is stop imbibing negative things from whether it's the media, people, whatever. And understand, and we can start to prove it. We will, when we do the points of light, that the new earth is emerging, rising up like the phoenix in all this chaos. It's emerging in a million ways. Our last meeting on Points of Life, we named numerous organizations and people that were doing this work. Right? It's time that we commit even more to celebrating these points of light this year. This will help us keep the high watch, because transformation is happening. The energies of the cosmos, our sun, is increasing right now and exponentially. The Schumann resonance is going off the charts. If you go and look at it. That Schumann resonance, by the way, measures the energies coming into the Earth through solar flares and cosmic forces coming into the Earth. And it's significantly increasing. Schumann resonance I spoke about in our first meeting. And our bodies, everybody's body, is adjusting to this increased energy. And that can do a lot of different things to a lot of people, a lot of different people. We can go and you would see people doing weird things or making strange decisions or kind of just going a little bit berserk. I, for example, have I feel this energy, and what happens with me is that I have these weird kind of headaches, and it's not a general headache where it's, here or wherever. It's right in the center of the top of my head where the 7th chakra is. And I notice that when that happens, my senses expand. I start to feel the energies more. I start to feel the consciousness of people, or the feelings, rather, of people more. Sometimes I tune into a lot of sadness. Sometimes I tune into sports of joy. Sometimes I tune into despair. I mean, it's like an empathy type of thing. It doesn't feel like the same thing as my own shadows coming up. It's a completely different feeling. It's much more expanded. So I know myself within my own feelings and my gut and all these kind of things that what I'm talking about is happening. We are in a significant transformation. And it's going to increase in the coming months. A lot of people are saying this, but I feel it. And so it's very urgent for us to be a force for calmness, for peace, helping others this way, holding the high watch. Many people are waking up. The higher energies are confounding some of the systems that we've had. Some of the systems of the survival of the fittest and greed and all the stuff that we know about that's going on in the world now is coming really up to the light, to be dealt with, to be healed, to be seen. This is what this energy does, because the lower vibrational systems, as we've already talked about, lower vibrational systems and ways and everything cannot sustain in a higher vibration. They can do nothing but fall apart, disintegrate. That's what happens when the lower vibration meets the higher vibration. It can't sustain itself. So of course we're going to see things break. That is the nature of this kind of transformation. And we can hold that high watch and understand. And when we do, and when we become like that, we are so needed. And we're going to talk about this in some of the future presentations about the incredible resources of help we can attune ourselves to. In the plant world, in the animal world, in the cosmic world, within ourselves. So, let's talk about this. Because many of you might also have things going on. What you see, what you feel. Do you have any, I've talked about kind of things that are changing within me. Do anybody else here have any things that you see? How do you feel? Do you feel this thing? Do you see these kinds of things that I feel and what I've talked about here? So anyway, this year, I propose we work to maintain a calm presence amidst the chaos, a wise, broader perspective, while at the same time being compassionate and helping when we can. And I think this is the best gift we could give the world. I know that when I've talked to a relative recently talked to a relative who was in a lot of fear, is in a lot of fear. And I know it. And she's difficult to talk to because she won't resistant to anything other than how she believes things. And so I decided just to radiate love and acceptance and compassion. And she came around. She didn't wake up, but she came around, more open to me. And another relative actually asked me, I was giving her love to her, she said, ask me, enlighten me about all this, enlighten me. Tell me. I said, are you sure you want me to do this? She said, yes. And I did. And she accepted it. And so, I think being a loving presence and accepting and honoring their fear or whatever it is, or their path, does more good than anything else, at least in my experience. I've tried it the other way, and it made it worse. So I tried this, and it worked. So I've done both, and that worked for me. So anyway, yeah, so we really need to work on being the calm presence, because the chaos is going to get worse. That's what I feel. That's what everybody says. It's pretty obvious since we last met in November. Things have gotten far more chaotic now than they were then. So being the calm presence amidst the chaos. This is our primary goal. And that means we work on ourselves. Because to do this, we need to become out of fear ourselves. So how do we do that? Well, one of the first things we could do is stop imbibing, again, negative articles, newscasts, people. And if we want to tune into what's going on in the world, let's take an attitude of practicality. It's practical to know, say, for example, what's happening with the money system. It's practical to know if there's scarcity in the stores. It's practical to know certain other things. We can look at it occasionally, briefly, from a detached standpoint, just keeping it very practical. Be pragmatic about it. We can see something negative, for example, see somebody hurting, see something, a problematical something. We can stop and use our imaginations to either find a solution. What can I do about this? How can this change? Be a dreamer, be a creator, be an inventor, open to the divine creativity that's in you. And what is mine to do? Maybe nothing, just radiate love. That's not nothing. That's the best thing. That's the most powerful thing. Love is one of the highest vibrations of all. And again, the lower thing can't sustain in the midst of that kind of vibration that we put out. That's why we light workers are so important. We can influence thousands, just one person with a very high vibration. So, and we can begin to do things ourselves. Do charitable work. Do a hobby. Do something that makes you or others joyful. What can I do? You start doing and pouring your efforts out to others, then that gets you way off fear. You're into then love, which is the opposite of fear. If those of you who have to stay home and all of that, maybe you like to research. Maybe you like to find things. Maybe you like to read. You can share this with others in social media or directly or something like that. You can share yourself. So we can support the light workers we've found. We can support them financially. We can support them with our love. We can support them with our acknowledgement. We can support them by being their promoter with other people. Look at this. This is, wow, this guy's doing this. Isn't that great? Check him out. Again, though, to do any of this, we need to be out of fear. Fear cancels creativity, limits our consciousness, makes us vulnerable, and so much more. So, I found a video I'd like to show you, and it's a video by Alberto Vilodo. He's a shamanistic teacher, scientist, mystic, and I've started reading him. I took a workshop with him. He's traveled all over the world, learning about the Aboriginal religions and their faith and their reverence for nature. And they know our potential, our human potential, humanly divine potential, to transform ourselves and bring in a new world. Dream a new world into being is what they call it. So this is a short video that will give us a meditation and breathing technique to calm our fear and our stress.
Those of you who have rallied to this call to discover the inner shaman, discover that part of you that is a steward and a caretaker of the earth, and how you can make a difference in these times of tremendous crisis. So I want to speak to you today about the jaguar. In the Amazon, they speak about bringing the jaguar down from the tree, calling the jaguar down from the tree. And this is a jaguar from a carving of an Amazonian jaguar. And the idea is that the jaguar has no predators. It has no enemies. Nothing can touch it. And when it gets spooked and scared, it climbs up the tree. And it's very difficult to bring it down. It doesn't want to come down. It's terrified. And if you try to walk up to it or call the fire department with a ladder, it'll just screech at you. And so we have to coax it down. We have to coax our nervous system down so that we can become part of the solution and not part of the problem. So I'd like to teach you today how we can reset our fight or flight system. So you can begin with placing both of your hands, palms down, over your heart center, over your heart chakra, and taking a deep breath, inhaling deeply, and exhaling, inhaling deeply again. I like to inhale to a count of 3 and exhale to a count of 5 to reset the nervous system. Inhale to 3, exhale to 5, and now bring your right hand right over your belly button, a little bit below the belly button actually, to your second chakra. And I'd like you to imagine that you can feel your heartbeat with your left hand. And that as you breathe, you can feel the heartbeat of Mother Earth, of Pachamama, of the Great Mother. The heart is the great drummer in the body, and we want to set the rhythm of our adrenals, of our nervous system, to the great drummer, to the great heartbeat of the mother. Inhaling to a count of 3, and exhaling to a count of 5. With your hand on your second chakra, and attuning your heartbeat to the heartbeat of Mother Earth. In the East, they know the heartbeat of the mother as the sound of Om. Om is the heartbeat of the mother. And let her tune your heart. Like a newborn baby lying on her mother's chest, feeling her heartbeat. Let the Great Mother tune you to her heartbeat. And now imagine that rhythm coming down your right hand to your second chakra, that for many of us is going at 100 miles an hour, anxious, tense with the news that we read, And letting that second chakra know it's going to be okay. It's okay, my little one. You're safe. You're going to be well. Everything is well. Your mother is looking after you. Continuing to inhale to a count of 3. Exhaling to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instructing your second chakra, which is where the adrenals reside, that you can relax, that it's okay to relax, that it is safe, that you are safe, that you will be well. You are well, you will be well. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3 on the inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. And continue this for a few moments. And when you're finished, you can bring your hands together, palms together, by your heart, and thank the mother. Thank you, mother. Thank you for holding me so sweetly. And I'd like you to do this with your loved ones. Some of us are in small apartments with 3 kids, homeschooling. They're anxious. Our spouses are stressed out. We are stressed out. And anxiety is rampant. Try this with your loved ones, but come in for their back. Ask them to lie down. Place your left hand underneath their heart chakra, feeling for their heartbeat, imagining that you can sense their heartbeat. And then imagining, use your imagination. Remember, the world of the shaman is imaginal. It's not imaginary, it's imaginal. Engage your imagination. Feeling the heartbeat of Mother Earth, that sound of Om that reverberates throughout creation. And then when you feel the heartbeat of your partner and the heartbeat of the mother, place your right hand underneath their sacral area, underneath their second chakra, as you're lying down on a bed. And bring that heartbeat of the mother and of your partner through your own heart, affirming it, resetting it, drumming together with the great drum beat of the mother, and bring that rhythm into your partner's second chakra, into your child's, your lover's, your beloved. And speak to that second chakra as you're resetting it. The second chakra is like a child. It's scared. Tell it it's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. You are safe. It's okay for you to be here now. You are protected. Your mother is here with you, looking out after you. Everything is well. And sense how that second chakra begins to slow down. You might find that your partner takes a deep inhalation or a sigh as a reset happens. And this takes about 10 minutes to do completely. I did a very brief version of it where you're doing yourself, you're resetting yourself at the beginning of this video. But take 10 minutes until you can feel your partner, your child, your parent, your loved one reset. Yes, it is safe. It is safe. And then hold it a little bit longer. Speak to that second chakra. Your mother is looking out after you. Pachamama, Mother Earth, wants her children to be well. She wants you to be well. You are safe. You are well. And when you finish, bring your hands to your heart and thank Mother Earth that you've brought the jaguar down from the tree. Now the jaguar's at the lower branches, completely relaxed, sensing everything around it, but not stressed out by anything. Just the very tip of its tail twitching, but completely alert without being engaged, able to witness and to observe without anxiety, without locking into fight or flight. Because the unfortunate part of fight or flight is that it leads to freeze. It's the 3 Fs: fight, flight, freeze. And when we're frozen, our immune system gets frozen. We sleep, but we don't rest. We become stressed out, unable to make a difference in the world. And for the shaman, the time and the way that we make a difference now, and the way your inner shaman can be part of creating the dawn of a new time, is through your practice, through your meditation practice. Is to find a place of quiet after you've reset your fight or flight, a place of deep inner stillness. And from there, radiate peace, become peace, and radiate peace into the quantum field. Remember that you have a field state, not just this particle state, this body, but you're an energy field. And that energy field permeates all of creation. And you can create peace, become peace, and create a standing wave that will reverberate throughout your field and touch everyone in the planet in your own small way. And of course, if enough of us do this, we create peace. We even create peace with those who we perceive as our enemies. Now, the shamans understand that there's no difference between being killed by a microbe or a germ or being killed by a jaguar. Whereas to us, being killed by a microbe is an illness, and being killed by a jaguar is bad luck. For the shaman, you want to be in right relationship with both. You want to be in peace with germs and with jaguars, so that neither one of them looks at you as lunch.
He said far more briefly all the things I've said, more concisely, didn't he? Anyway, I hope you liked that. I thought it was very appropriate for this, and there are a number of other wonderful videos I'll let you know about. I'm going to send out an email summarizing this this meeting and giving you whatever resources and links that we've talked about today, and several other wonderful videos about calming fear and calming anxiety and becoming a peaceful presence. Now that we're in this zoned out, slowed down presence or a thing within us, let's hold this energy for a few minutes here. Let's close our eyes. Let's imagine ourselves for a minute as already New Earth people. So say this with me. I am on a path to step into the highest version of myself. This is only the highest this mind can conceive. I understand the highest divinity sees possible is beyond my imagining. But I look now on myself living in the new earth. I look and see what I'm doing, how I am, how I feel, how I act, how I show up in the world. Let's hold this version for a minute. Let's hold this vision of us, of you. Okay. I trust you're right in the midst of this still, so now take up your paper and pen or however we're going to write. Your computer, if that's what you write on. However, you can write down something. And I'm going to give you a writing prompt. And we're going to hold on to this. We're going to really solidify this by writing it. And you write down these words. As a New Earth person, I see myself. Continue writing the sentence. As a New Earth person, I see myself. Finish the sentence and keep writing. What are you doing? How are you feeling? What do you see? Okay, I hope that was enlightening and you found something new that you didn't know about yourself, of a good thing. And I know I found out, I wrote up actually a couple of pages, but some of this I kind of knew. But what I found out was that I had a real talent and proclivity to have childlike fun and be childlike in how I saw things. And maybe I have a little bit of that, but I don't actually practice. It's not really my personality that much, and too serious. But in my New Earth visioning, there was a lot of things, but that's what kind of stood out to me. And it's interesting that I went through this little practice where he is, why this? Why do you want 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 this? And it came to the point where I want to have fun at the end of this exercise. And then it says, why do you want to have fun? And it came to me, the answer just came to me. And I said, it's my nature. And so this is what I found out again. I said, okay, somebody's I'm telling myself something here. Anyway, there were a lot of other things too. Did you all have something that emerged that you didn't expect? And what you saw in yourself? How you are showing up, or what you did that was something that you kind of didn't expect maybe? Yeah. Now we have like a vision that we thought about and meditated on and wrote down of ourselves as New Earth people. So we now have that thought, right? We have that vision. We've written it. And so just hold that all the time. And hold that he or she's already in there. So you hold it and support it and appreciate it. And that will help to bring it out. Bring it forth. And we're already lights anyway, but this will give us something to go for, something to envision. So I hope that helped in that respect for everybody. Let me, we only have a few minutes left. Let me share the screen again, and I'll let you in on what we have planned for the next few meetings. So we're going to go, for you or new, we go to events, and this is what tells us what's coming up. So this new year, new earth, new us, that's what we just did. That's an announcement. And when you go to the events page, you could click either on the picture or the title or just anywhere here, and you can go into a longer description of what we're going to be doing in that meeting. So let's go back and let's talk about what's coming up. Next week, we will do Points of Light. And this was, as I said, this was a lot of fun last time we did it. This time, and I know all of us have accumulated many additional ideas in the meantime of what the points of light are out there, and some of the new discoveries we've made and people and things. What I'd like for us all to incorporate also this time are what I'm calling the quiet light workers. Those are the people that are just doing things. For example, I go to the Wegmans store often, and there's one cash register person, whatever you call that, and he's Hispanic, and he is always so lively and cheerful, and he seems to want everybody to smile and be happy. He does everything he can, just the minute that you're there with him, to bring a joke or make somebody feel better. He's always positive. It's amazing. I always go into his line, and so I notice other people do too, to be uplifted, to get some cheer and positivity. And so one day, it was back when everybody had to wear a mask, and he was wearing a mask. He talked about the difficulty in having to wear a mask because he can't do as much. And I said, you make people so happy. You make everybody, you always have a joke. You're always so positive. What's your secret? And why do you do this? And he said, Jesus told me to. That touched me so much. And so I have to do what he tells me, right? I said, but you're so good at it. He said, yeah, the more I do it, the more fun it is. The more I do it, it's more easy. But with a mask, it's more hard. It's harder. At that time, I didn't wear a mask. And he said, I love it that you don't have your mask. I can see you smile. But I can tell they're smiling anyway. And I said, you're so good at it. He had a mask on him, but I could see by his eyes that he was smiling at somebody acknowledging him. So that's a point of light that the light came to me from this man many times, and he's now retired, and I really miss him when I go there. So people like that, let's acknowledge people like that too. There are others that we can also name, that new people that we know that are counselors or doing research work, or doctors that are doing things, or whatever. Organizations doing things, but let's not forget these people like this man. Try to think of some of those too, and bring them next week to talk about, and just think of who are the light workers out there doing sometimes the people that are doing not the big famous things, but something like that, are just doing such great work, and they're role models for us. And so bring those too. When we're talking about light workers, bring some of them to to tell us about. And so we can be inspired, and we can have a role model and do some of the things they're doing. So that will be next time. It should be fun. We had a lot of fun last time. So everybody brings something, and we'll talk about them and lift ourselves up and get some inspiration and some of the things we can do. So the next one, our own Sam Lee. I'm going to put this on that. Sam Lee, sitting right here now, modest, soft-spoken. You wouldn't know, unless you really knew him, what an incredible light worker he is. He is going to talk to us about finding spiritual connection through inner empathy. And it turns out he has been studying compassionate communication, teaching workshops, doing practice sessions with groups for 12 years. And this, I think, is going to be one of the most useful and intimately meaningful experiences we've had with this talk, which will be in like an interview form. And come prepared. We're going to have breakout sessions. We're going to talk to each other. We're going to practice compassionate communication together with each other. And hopefully you will get lots of ideas and of how to establish a connected and loving relationship with others. And this is so timely because we talked about how we need to be the calm presences. We need to communicate in that way. We need to understand each other. So this should be a really, really appropriate and meaningful presentation and experience for us. So thank you, Sam, for coming to do this. You do so much. He also teaches spiritual study groups, and he has done that for the last 10 years at Unity of Fairfax. He is a adopter co-founder of a nutrition group, health and wellness group called Natural Wellness. And if that isn't enough, he's on the planning team of the New Earth Project. So thank you, Sam, for being you. Thank you. Wonderful that you offered to do this for us. Thank you. And then the next one after that is going to be a real wow. This is going to be a wow. This is going to blow your mind. This is a new friend of mine. I met her last summer at a picnic. And she is the author of 4 books. Her name is June Sangeline Hughes. There she is. She has been working with animals all her life. She was a professional horsewoman. She traveled around the world. She studied many things. She's also a quantum touch instructor. She produces flower essences in her beautiful magical garden. She lives near Middleburg, Virginia. She has written this book called Whale Wisdom and Dolphin Joy. I'm in the process of reading it. I've read most of it. One day she found that she was getting these words, getting these messages and coming. And she didn't understand that. She wrote down the words, but she didn't even understand it. She hadn't read many spiritual books. She found out this was coming from the dolphins and the whales. And in this incredible, incredible book, there is spiritual wisdom as deep as I have ever read. And those of you who know me know I've read a lot of spiritual works. But what she has gotten from the dolphins and the whales, it blows my mind. They talk about multidimensionality, ascension, so many things like that. Very, very deep spirituality they have taught her. And it just, you will come away with a new appreciation for animals and nature in general, plants and animals, and their purpose here, their spirituality, their wisdom, their multidimensional nature, just like ours, their intelligence. They know what they're here for. They know what they're doing for the earth and for humans. They do what they can to hold the harmony and so many other things. It's going to blow, as I guarantee, this is going to blow your mind. And so she agreed to come here and at our meeting and have me interview her and answer your questions. So you might want to read this book prior to the meeting, and so you can have your questions ready, because there'll be a lot of them, I promise you. And I hope that this particular meeting will help all of us understand what incredible support we have out there. It's going to be, it's going, and we're going to follow up on this with some other things regarding nature and other helpers we have available to us. It's very inspiring. It's very touching too, and both of these meetings, the one with Sam and this one, will be I think life-changing. So, and we have got others planned that I won't talk about yet until we're sure. But anyway, hope to see you there, and here rather, and to enjoy this. And we'll have and any of you who want to join our New Earth planning team, let me know. We meet, we're going to meet again this coming next week, and we talk about some of our plans, what our ideas, maybe things that need to be changed, some other things like that. And let me know, and we'll talk about this next time, about what kinds of presentations or what kind of a meeting would most help you in what we want to do. Become the calm peacemakers, become the high, stay in the high watch, do our envisioning for ourselves, and help to bring about the new earth and support it, and new earth people. We are going to be needed. I have to say this again. We are going, in the coming months and maybe the coming year or so, we are going to be so needed to hold the high watch, to be the calm presences amidst all this chaos. To hold the vision that what this means is a new earth is coming even more quickly. So with that, I'll say goodbye and thank you for coming, and goodbye. See you next time.